Uh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adelia Puspita, and right now I will explain about project exam in the social linguistic. Okay, the topic that I want to explain and pay attention is about language change in social linguistic. Before that, I have a table of content that I want to explain. The first is about introduction, the next is about type, and then the next is cause of language, the next is example, and the next is function, and the last is conclusion. So the first we're gonna talk about introduction. What is language change? Language change is the process through which language transforms over time in terms of sound, structure, meaning, and vocabulary. It occurs naturally and continually as speakers adapt their language to suit new circumstances, social context, and communicative needs. So this is the type of language change. The first is phonological change or sound change, like change in the way words are pronounced. The next is morphological change or word structure change. It's like a change in how words are performed, including words ending and affix. The next is syntactic change, like change in how words are arranged in sentence. And the next is semantic change. Semantic change is like the meaning of word. Okay, next we're gonna talk about cause of language change. The first is about technological and scientific innovation. The next is about social factor, or the next is about your language and slang. And the next is cultural influence, like a media, music, pop culture. And media and pop culture spread a new press and expression quickly. So this is the example of language change, like some American English dialect, people know pronouns like to as a gonna. So especially in casual speech, this is so a phonological reduction, a natural change in the way words are pronounced over time, often influenced by informal social context. So another example, like the word mouse, originally refers only to a small rodent, but with the development of computer like mouse gained a new meaning, a computer input a device. So this is the example of semantic broadening, where the meaning of word expand due to technological or cultural change. So the function of language change is menurut Peter Trigel in their books social linguistic like introduction to language in society in the 2000. Language change can function as a marker of group identity, distinguishing social or regional group from one another. And they have another expert like from Jane Attention from their book Language Change, Progress or Decay in 2001. They said many language change serve the purpose of simplifying complex form or making pronunciation and grammar more efficient. So for the conclusion, in the sociolinguistic, language change is seen as an ongoing and natural evolution that mirror shift in society. These changes are shaped not only by internal linguistic development, but also by external influence such as culture, social interaction, and technology. And language change can play key roles in helping speakers express their identity, improve communication, and simply complex language from and adjust to change improvement. By studying how language change, we gain insight into the relationship between language and society across time. Okay, next we're gonna talk about about another topic that is about style in social linguistics. Okay, before that, this is the table of content, same like before. So we're gonna talk about introduction. So Wardock in 2006 said that style refers to the way in which speakers vary their language use depending on social context, but in sociolinguistic concept that so how language reflects identity, context, and purpose. So style is refers to the way language is used by individual in different social contexts. So it involves the variation of speech of reading that reflect factors such as formality, audience, topic, setting, and identity. So this is the type of style from the Marigos in the five clocks. First is frozen style, also called as a static register, like used in fixed ritualistic situations, like for example in legal language or religious texts, like constitution or prayer. And the next is formal style. Formal style is like a use in a formal situation such as public speaking, lecture, and presentation, like highly structured and impersonal. Okay, the next is about consultative style. So this is like a semi-formal, like used in a professional or transactional conversation, aka like in the doctor, parent, and teacher with the student. And the next is casual style. Casual style is like an informal language used with a friend or peers, like include slang and ellipsis. And the next is intimate style. Intimate style is like a private communication like between a close friend, couple, or family, like often involves personal code or sharing knowledge. So style shifting and code switching of style. We're gonna talk about this. Okay, the first is about style shifting. Style shifting is take a place within a language in which with the dialect, if any, are mutually understandable. It's represent any shift from a person ordinary speech and is usually undertaken for appeal or preposition. The next is code switching. Code switching is take the place where mutual intelligibility is considered to be an issue, real or image, like where a shift in a language or dialect can convey additional information. So for example, like style shifting, like imagine like when you are speaking to a Malay colleague in the office about your day, but in the Japanese. So their family boss come in and ask for a progress report, and then you then shift to using a more formal style and a vocabulary to discuss your project. And the next is about code switching. Like for example, as I mentioned, like this is when you change your dialect or language to fit a certain social context. Like at home, you may speak Arabic or Hindi or another language, or you talk with Indonesian language. But in the school, you may speak to standard English like that. This is the example of code switching. Okay, next we're gonna talk about factor affecting style. So they have many factors like topic of conversation or with the audience, or it's depend about setting or situation or purpose of communication. Like and then the next is like the social roles and the relationship. So the function of style is like style convey contextual and factual information, like it represents the speaker view or reality, like a formal, precise style are used to describe event or concept accurately. And style express the speaker emotion, attitude, and personality, like for example, colloquial or animate language can signal enthusiasm or solidarity. And the next is style construct and maintain social relationship like polite or honorific form, index respect and distance like slang and in a group jargon create solidarity. And style build or maintain social bonds. So for the conclusion, like style is not a peripheral feature of language, but in a central mechanism through which speaker negotiates meaning, identity, and power. It's a study breaks linguistic from a social function, making it indispensable for holistic understanding of human communication. And a short studying style in social linguistics allow to understand how language is used. It's not just to communicate information, but to perform like who we are, where we belong, and how we relate to others. So next, we're gonna talk about context in social linguistics. Okay, before that, this is the table of content that I want to explain. Okay, first we're gonna talk about introduction. So in sociolinguistic context encompass the social, cultural, physical, and situational element that set communication. This element influence the way language is selected, perceived, and interpreted by both speaker or listener. So this is the type of the content. The first is about physical context. Like this accompanies what is physically present around the speaker or hearers at the time of communication, like what objects are visible where the communication is taking place and what is going on around. And the next is linguistic context, like this is referred to what has been said before, like conversation or the history or the thing that says so far. Like for example, I cannot believe you say that. This is the example of linguistic context. And the next is social context, like is referred like with the social relationship of the people involved in communication. So this is the component of context. So from the Delheimer's, they have a speaking model. Okay, speaking model as a setting and scheme, like the physical time and place and physiological situation or atmosphere. The next is participant, like a speaker, listener, audience, and their roles in interaction. The next is about ends, like a purpose, goal, and expected outcome of communication. And the next is act sequence, like actual contact and order of spoken message. And the next is key, like a tone, manner of spirit, like serious or sarcastic or humorous, like that. And the next is instrumentalities, like channel, oral or written, like and a verb or speech use. The next is about norms, like rule or kind of speech as interpretation accepted by the group. Okay, we're gonna talk about the function of context. Sociolinguistic context is crucial in language learning. It helps learn understanding language use in social interaction. It emphasizes the important of cultural norms, regional variation, and social factor, enabling more accurate and effective communication in real-life setting. So this understanding aids in developing pragmatic competence and intellectual awareness. So sociolinguistic context influence communication style by shaping how individuals use language based on social factors such as age, gender, ethnicity, cultural norms, and social status. So for the conclusion is like social linguistics like this is consistently so that language use cannot be spurred from context, but context is provide the social, cultural, and interactional backdrop that self our language is produced, interpreted, and evaluated. So context is not just a background element, but is central mechanism in understanding language variation, identity construction, and social interaction. Without context, the interpretation of linguistic data become incomplete and social meaningless. Okay, next we're gonna talk about stereotype in social linguistic. Before that, this is the table of content that I want to explain. It seems like a before. Okay, the first we're gonna talk about introduction. What is stereotype? Okay, a stereotype is referred to commonly held but overly simplified idea about a particular group of people. These assumptions are often formed without direct experience and can lead to unfair or biased view. But in the field of social linguistics, stereotype is frequently related to like how certain group are believed to speak. Like people tend to associate specific accent, dialect, or speaking style with traits such as intelligence, friendliness, or even professionalism. So, for example, like a British accent is often considered more educated, while a Southern American accent may be wrongly perceived as insophisticated. Similarly, African American Vernacular English or ALVE is sometimes unfairly judged as incorrect or ungrammatical, even though it follows consistent linguistic rules. So the purpose is about sociolinguistic explore this stereotype because they reveal how language is tied to social judgment. Like this belief can impact people live affecting their job, opportunity, access to education, and how they are treated in daily interaction. By examining stereotype, racism aim to challenge linguistic discrimination and encourage a deeper understanding and appreciation of how diverse language truly is. So this is the type of linguistic stereotype. Okay, the first is about regional stereotype. So this is associated with how people from different geographical area are perceived to speak. Like for example, variety like Southern American English are often unfairly labeled as a slow, less intelligent, or overly casual. And speaker from New York might be stereotyped as a being aggressive or blunt, like that. And the second is about ethnic and racial stereotype. This involves assumption about speech pattern like to specific racial or ethnic groups, like for example, African American vernacular English is often wrongly viewed as a grammatical inferior, like Chicano English and other Latino dialects sometimes misjudged as informal or broken English. The next is gender-based stereotype. Like these are based on society expects different gender to speak. Like for example, women are frequently assumed to use more polite, emotional, or indirect language, and men are often expected to be more assertive, concise, or unemotional in speech, like that. So this is the effect of stereotype in social linguistics. Like maybe they became the language discrimination and prejudice, or educational inequality, or workplace bias and employment barriers. And the next like social identity pressure or code switching, or maybe they can be reinforcement of social hierarchy. So for the conclusion is sociolinguistic study have shown that language related stereotype, whether based on dialect, accents, or speech style, so significantly influence how individuals adjust in social context. This stereotype often reflect broader social prejudice and contribute to unequal treatment, like particularly in areas like education, employment, and media portrayals. So I think this is enough for me for the presentation. Kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.